All right, so Yarok, Scapeshift, or perhaps Yarok, Field of the Dead is a better comparison for this deck. So this was a build around submission for Yarok and the Desecrated plus the card Field of the Dead here. So Yarok says when a permanent entry the battlefield causes a trigger, it triggers an additional time. So when Yarok's in play, you get 2 zombies per Field of Ruin. You'll note here that unlike a lot of the Scapeshift decks that have been running around, this deck is not playing for Scapeshift, so we're a little bit more of a mid-rangey deck that's trying to ramp up and kind of play Field of Dead the fair way, and whether or not that's ideal is definitely going to remain to be seen. I am going to go ahead and adjust the sideboard here really quick, though. I think one of the things we can do to gain a pretty substantial leg up in the Scapeshift mirror is just unmoored ego people. So I plan to just do that. So let's jam 4 of those in the sideboard and hop on into some matches here, shall we? Yo, unmoored ego can notably name lands, unlike a lot of cards similar to that design. So you can just take your opponent's 4 Field of the Dead away. Then they have very minimal other things that can kill you. Pretty easy mulligan to start here, no second mana. Classic 27 land deck opener, no second mana. Don't really need Grazer as a ramp spell here. Does Casualty of War actually seem good in the mirror? Like, historically speaking, destroying random lands is not a good way to compete against ramp-style decks, because ramp decks are mostly mana, right? Like, take this deck, for instance. It's like almost 30 lands, then it's a bunch of other things that find those lands. So randomly blowing up one land, generally speaking, isn't a winning strategy. Speaking of our deck being mostly lands and being bad at finding them. Yeah, it could be a black-white aristocrats deck, could be some variation on vampires, could be a 3-color deck. Looks like some kind of variation on vampires. This is a vampire. Look at that. I didn't even know this one was a vampire. That's kind of sweet. Probably need to restart Arena here soon. It's definitely chugging a little bit. Ooh. Yarok with double reef is, and that's the value of playing, or the appeal to playing this over some of the other builds, is you get to play this card along with Risen Reef. Risen Reef is a very good card, in case you're unaware. Yeah, Yarok's an elemental. Oh yeah, your Jungle Howl is triggered twice too. Can I get a Field of the Dead? Alright. Your turn. Was that good? That felt like pretty reasonable. Yeah, lifelink death touch on this body is like super relevant here also. Oh, they paid 5 life. I was like, why didn't they sacrifice the thing? So we have 8 lands currently. This is a 9th land. Oh, I guess I should technically wait to Dismal Backwater because this could find a field. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, 4 plus 6 is 7 differently named. Yep. Okie doke. Zombie, zombie, zombie. Ha ha. This is probably not a matchup where I want Crucible of Worlds for the grind. Maybe we'll leave one in. And this is probably a little bit slow too. I think this top end is plenty. Do we think Grazer's actually good in this matchup? Is Grazer a card like... It probably doesn't block most of their stuff, right? I guess if I'm killing their lords, it blocks okay. Let's try this. Was just 80 power, what a deal. Yeah, exactly. Is it just me, or even on the winning side of the Scapeshift late combo, does it feel extremely underwhelming and unsatisfying to play? No, that's not just you. In fact, the Scapeshift deck in Modern, on this stream, we've frequently touted as being one of the most brain-dead decks in the format, frequently talking about how we could probably write a computer program to play it reasonably. You thought Flood plus Omniscience is going to be better than this. That's a rough gamble. Grazer looking real good here. Isn't Shock better to bring in there? Why is Shock better to bring in? Because I'd be able to play Reef without getting hurt this turn? I don't think so. Just because this has to come into play tapped. I got 6 differently named lands here already, which is great. Scale of 1 to dead. Where's my Reef at? Dead side of the scale. Got it. Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm in for Rejuvenator there, huh? Especially after I drop Yarok into play next turn. One of the things that's kind of sweet about this build of Scapeshift is that as people adapt to, like, playing sweepers and stuff as people start to adapt by playing sweepers and things like that for the stock Scapeshift deck, a build like this is going to be better because it just plays a fair game better. All right, so with the Reef drawn, I think I actually want to lead on this plus this turn. Especially because it potentially starts triggering these fields as well. Or my field, singular. And then, so they want to kill this, so if they kill this, they're less likely to be able to kill this. And if they don't kill this, Yarok double triggers this next turn. Oh, and then field double triggers. Oh, that's tasty. Oh, that's tasty. I think they're probably going to take the grasp. And then next turn, the Cavalier double triggers Reef and double triggers itself. Right? Yeah. Sweet. We're hitting our play blue spells quest. Oh, wait, I should restart the client. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people, all so great. Buy their stuff.
Don't make your life garbage time. Join us in Hoaglandia today by subscribing to Jeff Hoagland with Twitch Prime today.
I'm gonna answer your question with a question like I always do, games. I didn't put Hydroid Crease in this deck because I don't think it solves any problems that the deck has. So what problem do you think this deck has that's being solved by playing Hydroid Crease? Why is that a card I'm interested in playing as opposed to Cavalier, which synergizes with Risen Reef and Yarok? Woof, sir. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. You have a link for only the Twitch Prime. I have. I need to throw it up on my YouTube. Hey, Allah. That guy was great. I'm going to buy his stuff. Thank you for the quarter of your support. I appreciate it. Welcome back. The Nissas might be kind of suspect in here. I kind of wanted another alternative win condition, but they might be unnecessary. Might be unnecessary. I mean, we have a bunch of utility lands for when we flood. How was Modern? The Modern deck today was sweet. We played black-white zombies, and it was quite excellent. That was a great draw. This is a very good 5. You're not wrong. Oh, poor Risen Reef is gonna eat it. Rudy is Austin Powers. Thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around.
They can only punish you if they catch you.
I think I want to lead on Rejuvenator now. If I draw an untapped green source next turn, I can Cavalier of Thorns, which is a pretty big booty. Shiggity shwooty, we're coming for that booty, chap. Shiggity shwooty.
We won't answer to other guilds.
Guess we just hang tight for now. Man, I'm gonna play this Yarok, and we're gonna get Domri's ambush. I'm gonna like curl up in a little ball and cry, but it's what we've got. God, that animation is so good. Yeah, it's fine against Domri's down tick. It's not so fine against ambush. It's got lifelink too, which happens when it fights. If they attack, we might see a Domri fight here. Because they're getting to replace it. But I feel like even this fight happening just like buys us the time that we kind of need. With them missing lands especially. Yeah, First Strike does not apply to fights because the way First Strike works in Magic, it's a special step inside of combat. We didn't get ambushed last turn, so that's a good sign for our hero.
Oh, I wish you could see your face while I'm beating you.
Yep. Okay. It's a big one. activating Arc this turn. Might as well tap it for that. That was a good one to find. That was a good one to find. Hashtag sometimes lucky. Grab our last basic here. Get 2 more zombies. Again, I feel like these first couple of games so far have been really good examples of just like using Field of Dead without Scapeshift. And something to think about with this, like people are talking about Scapeshift rotating out. Basically the core of what this deck is doing is pretty much still going to be legal next format, right? Like it's not rotating. Like whether or not it's good will be dictated by what's in the upcoming set. But like there's a reasonable chance that like the core of this is still fine. We're gonna see this fight Yarok here, I assume. That's a good line.
That's the sound of a stampede coming straight at ya.
No, this was a viewer submitted list. Or viewer submitted idea. They asked for me to build with Yarok and Field of the Dead. I'm blocking with everything here, because I don't want to block with only 3 and get blown out by like a lightning strike or a shock. So I'm giving up 1 more zombie than I otherwise wouldn't necessarily need to, but with Cavalier of Thorns in hand, I think this is fine. Deal. So we're going to lead on Cavalier of Thorns, because this could find a second Field of the Dead. I want this to trigger first, because I could find Field of the Dead. Oh, and I get to scry, potentially, before Risen Reefing. I think you're just trying to justify a bad card striker. In general, I'd rather just play higher quality magic cards, rather than playing something that's kind of individually weak. Alright, definitely want Noxious Grasp here. Do I want some amount of Witch Figure? Nissa seems like it's potentially kind of slow, especially on the draw. They're probably an elf deck. Oh, thanks for the support, Frantic. I'm glad it seems to be working out. Definitely, the core of what's going on here seems reasonably powerful. Some of the details we need to work on still, definitely. Like these Nissas might be suspect. I'm not sure if I need them as a win condition. Since we've talked about like Risen Reef early in the season was an all-star that a lot of people pointed out, and we were like, we're unsure exactly where it needed to be exactly, what home it is, and this is like another potential Risen Reef home that seems good. Yeah, this is fine. Not amazing, but fine. We have to go Dismal Backwater on 1, Disfigure something on 2, and then Growth Spiral on 3. Perfect. I would love a ramp spell. That helps me find my 3rd green source for this. I'm just going to go ahead and disfigure this now. I could wait to try and get them when they adapt it next turn, but if they just pass the turn with mana up, I end up being a little bit sad. So I think I'd rather just like pull the trigger and use my thing right away. This having Scapeshift rotate out of it reminds me of Copycat getting banned, that everyone continuing to play the energy shell because that's what was busted. Yeah, I agree. So, because I drew this, I'm just going to go ahead and Growth Spiral this turn rather than Rejuvenator, because Growth Spiraling this turn guarantees I have triple green to Cavalier next turn. I'd like to put this towards the next Teamer Elementals, 10 out of 10. Thank you for the support, I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me around. And now we get to go Field. Oh, no! Remember that time I autopiloted into playing Field of the Dead tapped? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I'm sorry, I have not played this card enough to have it committed to memory. Usually colorless lands come into play on tap, chat. Usually colorless lands come into play on tap. I think we're still gonna be okay, because I'm gonna get, like, make 2 zombies next turn, most likely, unless this misses on a land. I'm gonna, like, have a 5/6 and 2 zombies, but that's a pretty big mistake. Definitely would have preferred to have this in play. Think of it as Valakut. Yep, you're not wrong. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. This will be a 9, so I can play both of these next turn. This is probably going to be a concession Cavalier. That's... Oh, I should probably Cavalier first in case I find a third field, huh? Yeah, I should Cavalier first in case I find a third field. Now, if they have a sweeper, they could be okay. Oh! You want to talk about engines? How about Memorial to Genius plus Crucible plus Field of Dead? Seems pretty good. Yeah, there's only 2 Scapeshifts in here. There's only 2 Scapeshifts in here. We've had 1 game where we've actually cast a Scapeshift, right? Is this an I give up attack? Like, what are we doing here? I'd be very surprised if some form of this deck is not good. Also, if you look at the cards in it, if this deck ends up not being good, this deck is playing a bunch of just good cards, so like... Excellent. I think I'm gonna cut the Nissas. The Nissas seem unnecessary after playing a couple of games. Am I missing how we avoid getting hosed by Nexus? Well, I got these, and I've got these, and I've got some Assassin's trophies. Hey, Overlook. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Are there any other elementals that I want in this deck? I feel like there's probably not. How many blue sources do I have? Can I play Cavalier Gales? 1, 2. There's only 14 blue. Yeah, it could just be 4th Yarok. Yarok's like pretty good, huh? It could just be 4th Yarok. That doesn't seem unreasonable. I can also play like some amount of Disfigure main. Can we add a Lily? Like, I really don't feel like I need more ways to draw cards, right? Yeah, it could just be a 3rd Scapeshift. That's probably fine. I mean, honestly, the more I think about it, the less I want more Scapeshifts. I feel like more people are gonna adapt to killing this card, or beating this deck after this card is a real thing. I don't know if I want the crop rotation guy. I think he's kinda mopey. I'm gonna slide a Disfigure into the main and throw an extra trophy in the sideboard. Because I do think we're probably gonna have a little bit of a hard time against Nexus, and that's another card that does that. No, I don't think I want to take all the Scapeshifts out. I think 2 is fine. I think 2 is a pretty free roll. I think you're going to win some games with the Scapeshifts that you wouldn't win otherwise, but I don't by any means think it's necessary to win. Do we have enough Mastery Tree points to get a foil Yarok? That's an incredibly good question. I feel like we're probably going to play this again, so it's probably worth asking. Where is Yarok at? He's over here. Oh gosh, I do, chat. Look at that. Look at that. That's the real MVP suggestion right there. Can we foil the Yarok? Tasty. There's no Scapeshift foil. What a tilt. What a tilt. Definitely not low. Thank you for the quarter year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I need to run to the restroom really quick. I'm sorry. BRB. Just a second. When I get back, we're going to play a bunch more with this. Thanks for hanging out. Cameo. So, I think with the Yaroks and the 3 Cavaliers, we're already going to be in danger of decking ourselves. And honestly, it might be right to, like, play a copy of Nexus of Fate just so we can't deck. Path of Discovery and Scapeshift. That's interesting. It's a little on the slow side, but eh. Hopefully they're not. Hopefully the person with the Rakdos sleeves isn't playing something aggressive. Looking for an untapped blue source. That's actually fine, right? I can play that on 2 and lets me Risen Reef on 3, which is great. An opponent of culture. Yeah, but it does appear to be playing the deck we were playing previously. So, I think I want a Rejuvenator here. Because Rejuvenator gives me a shot to... I think I actually want an Overgrown Tomb because it lets my stuff enter. I guess, So... if I take the Dismal Backwater, I can guaranteed Reef plus Spiral next turn. Yeah, maybe I should take the Backwater there, actually. So I need to draw exactly a second blue now. Yeah, I think I should have... That's not a terrible draw. Yeah, I think I should have taken the Backwater instead of the Tomb. If I'm really lucky, I'll draw a blue untapped blue source here. Okay, which figure is not a terrible draw? Gaia's Blessing. Gaia's Blessing's a little bit awkward with our Crucible of Worlds, if I'm being completely honest. Alright, I think I just Cavalier here. It kind of feels bad to not get a Risen Reef trigger, but... we're one land away. We're one land away from Field of the Dead doing its thing. And we actually didn't, that's unfortunate. We didn't bin any lands with that. That's scary. If we would have been a second land with this, we would have been able to Crucible. I assume we're going to see Elvish Rejuvenator die here. Yep. Pretty happy to not be on a bunch of Scapeshifts when our opponent's got a Mayhem Devil in play. Oh, I was like, why didn't this trigger? It's a second Temple of Malady right there. It's unfortunate. Alright, if we can hit a differently named land here, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Yep, there's Thornwood Falls. And I have the City's Blessing, so if we run out of stuff to do, we can start activating Arc next turn. That being said, they currently have an unchecked Priest of the Forgotten Gods, which is one of their better cards they can have. The Mayhem Devil alongside it also causes us to take a lot of damage here. Yep. Maybe I'm supposed to bin Cavalier of Thorns here? Because I could... Yeah, I think I messed that up. I think I was supposed to... Yeah, that was actually really wrong. I should have sacrificed Cavalier of Thorns, because there's another Cavalier of Thorns in my bin. Yeah, I think I gotta throw away Grazer here. Now, worth noting, if I Field of Rune them, they get a... If I Field of Rune them, they get a trigger on their Mayhem Devil. There aren't any lands in here, right? Nope. Yeah, Crucible plus Field is an engine. So they're gonna kill me, hit me, and they'll hit Risen Reef. I don't think I played a land yet this turn. Let's find out. I did, in fact. Oh, that's brutal. I guess I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna activate it right now before I play this Reef out, because I don't want them to be able to kill the Reef with the trigger from it. No, Scapeshift rotates in 3 months. Field rotates in a year and 3 months. What do we ever lose here? This card, these cards do a ton of damage to us. We could get burned out. Do I just activate this? I can still play this after, right? Sure, I'm talking about Field of... Sorry, when I'm saying Field, I'm talking about Field of the Dead. I don't mean Field of Rune. I'm talking about the engine piece of our deck. The Reef draws for cheaper, so I'd Reef first. I guess the Reef would have put this into play too, huh? This is a free block, right? So there's no point in attacking. They draw Chandra. We'd be... I think that's lethal, right? It's pretty close to lethal. So they could... These are worth 4, 5, 6, and then I'd sack 1 and it'd be 7. Are they dead on board if I attack with everything? They're not, right? I'm definitely dead when they untap with the mask, so let's try and draw a removal spell here. or something. Grazer, not it. Well, no, they have to sacrifice one of these devils to make me sacrifice a creature, so it's only 7 currently. I mean, it's exactly what I said, right? Getting burned out is how we lose from here. Yeah, I don't have any extra draws from here. Mayhem Devil is very good against Scapeshift. Very, very good. In fact, is it crazy to just cut my Scapeshifts in this matchup? I feel like it's not. It was lethal with the 2 mana from Priest equipping Mask. Yeah, I think you're right, actually. They could have equipped the Mask. Yeah, because they get mana from it. Yeah, you're super right. I want this as an early blocker. Yeah, I'm going to submit. I'm just going to cut the Scapeshifts. Yeah, so they could have killed us the turn before and missed making mana. I mean, at the end there, Grey Wolf, my response to you would be, what card would I have cut from my deck for Krasis? Because if I had cut Cavalier for Krasis, a Krasis would have been awful in the early game, and I didn't draw a Cavalier late. So, like, if you want to be super, super results-based, even being results-based, I think it doesn't end up doing anything there. Which, being results-based and saying it would have been good here, so we should play it, is wrong in and of itself. But even if we want to be results-based, it still doesn't get us where we want to be going. I think I'm going to keep that there. Hey, CK Lau, thank you for the 15 months. I appreciate it. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. We are playing Sultai Gates this game. We are going to trophy the crap out of that one. And by trophy, I mean we drew a Disfigure, God bless. This card is so good against Dreadhorde Butcher. So, makes it a 0/0, so the trigger doesn't deal any damage. It's really clean answer. Huh? So I'm definitely playing this for my land for the turn. Now the question is, do I trophy this or do I just play Rejuvenator? I think I just play Rejuvenator. Okay, so we're taking 5 this turn. Hopefully they don't have another threat to put into play here. Ideally, we want to draw a Disfigure or another card we can play alongside Trophy. Oh, this puts lands into play untapped, right? He said, as he gets Field of Dead. Alright, I have a 2/2 at least. I get to get back a Yarok when they kill this turn. Suppose I could also pick a Disfigure back up here. So we're going to take 2, 3, 4 here. Do I just want another Cavalier here? I probably just want to kill these priests, huh? Yeah, I probably just want to kill the priests. Do I trophy this or do I trophy Chandra? If I trophy Chandra, they could just have another Chandra in their hand here too. I feel like we're gonna be in kind of a medium spot regardless of what we do here. Might want a fourth. I probably want a fourth Disfigure in my 75, which I probably should have had from the start. I feel like that card's just really good in every deck, every black deck right now. Finishing the zombie with that is kind of good news for us. He says his opponent plays another Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Deal. It's aggressive, not sacrificing the elemental tokens. God, there's a trophy on top of my deck. Did they just not use this? Is that they just forget about their Chandra? Is that what happened there?
Out.
All right. Ho. We're halfway there. Ho. Do 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 do. Yep. I think I'm gonna go to 5 here. Because leaving this in play if I draw, like, one of our Yaroks. There's only one Yarok in my bin, right? Like, Yarok or Cavalier of Thorns. You know what's a fun thing with this card? Shuffling's not optional, so we get to shuffle their Bond 2 away now. We could just be dead here. Yeah, I bet we're dead here, but I need to shuffle the Bond 2 away, otherwise we're guaranteed dead.
Pyromancer extraordinaire. Mostly.
Yeah, that matchup felt as bad from this side as it's felt good from the other side, so let's get... that being said, I think these colors have some better tools than Bant to keep up with the aggressive decks like that. So let's get a fourth Disfigure in here. Let's definitely make sure that happens. The two Crucible of Worlds are probably unnecessary. Yeah, let's do that. Let's cut the second Crucible for a fourth Disfigure. That's also true too. Our archetype is certainly less refined than like the Aristocrats deck that we've been hammering on for a season and a half. Arcane Adaptation, Risen Reef plus Field of Dead. Honestly, you'll probably deck before you do something meaningful with that. Yeah, I forgot I had this one in the queue, Marty. Sweet, we're gonna get to play the Scapeshift mirror here. They could be Nexus of Fate still, right? I think these lands imply Nexus, which is probably a hard matchup for us. Nope, they are in fact... Why would they have a Guildgate if they're Nexus? Oh, that's a good pickup. Nexus doesn't have to play gates anymore because they have temples. Definitely a Scapeshift mirror. Alright, we're gonna get some Reef triggers next turn. A couple 2-3 Reef triggers next turn. We have 6 differently named lands in play right now. So if we find a field of dead, we're gonna start popping out some zomboys and girls. Am I supposed to Rejuvenator next turn before I Risen Reef, or should I just double Reef? Double Reef's kind of appealing, but Rejuvenator likely digs me to Field of Dead, right? The Reefs do dig 10, I guess, huh? Oh, no. Oh, I have a trophy, right? Thanks. Thanks, friend. Baka Nation, thank you for the 9 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They put a card on top, so I feel like there's a... Wow, they shuffled. Okay. Oh, I tapped both my green. That was a mistake. I think we should maybe slot a Nexus of Fate into here so we can avoid decking in some of the longer games. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to start with Cavalier of Thorns next turn. Sure. Would you like to bounce one of my things? Really, you would? Okay, deal, sure. I guess this lets them attack with 2/2s for the turn. Let's not tap that much green, shall we? So I'm actually going to decline to put this one... No, I get a double scry here, right? Okay, so that one's going to stay there. And I'm actually going to decline to put this one into play. Because I haven't played a land yet for the turn. And I can Field of the Dead now. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have growth spiraled the Field of the Dead into play in response to these triggers. That's what I should have done. I should have growth spiraled the Field of Dead into play in response to those triggers. Is what should have happened. So I missed some zombies by not seeing that line.
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, Teferi prevents that. You know what the easiest way to know that Teferi prevented that was? It was a really fun line, so that meant Teferi made it unplayable. You can always tell when Teferi makes it not possible, because it was really cool. Alright, now decking is a real risk here. Because all of these Risen Reef triggers are not optional. We're looking for another Field of Rune. Or Field of Dead, sorry. Whatever this field card is called. Yeah, if there was one Nexus of Fate in my deck, we would get to the point where we would just take infinite turns from here, right? Opponents decided they cannot win anymore, which is probably accurate. So we bring in all 4 of my Unmoored Egos. We bring in some Assassin's Trophies. No, you're still drawing the card, Matto. It's still taking a card out of your hand. Scapeshift usually has some Hydroid Crisis. So I'm going to bring in these Noxious Grasp, I think. What do I want to cut here? What do I want to cut here? Yeah, Unmoored Ego takes their fields away. Should I just cut Scapeshift? Is that crazy? I feel like going big like that probably isn't necessary a lot of the time, right? Yeah, I'm gonna cut Scapeshift. This deck feels like a really neat proof of concept for Field of Dead surviving rotation. I think the 2 Scapeshifts are fine. Yeah. Turn 3 Ego. Let's go. Let's go. That is tapped. Doop, doop. The buddy lands are really awkward in this deck. I don't think that's strictly true. I think we have some crazy starts to just like keep up with their Scapeshifts just fine. Cast a 2-drop. Yeah, there's a good chance they have Deputy in their sideboard. Let's find out, shall we? Alright, when I click the last one, it gets rid of it. So let's look at their deck really quick. They have Veil of Autumns. They have a couple of Excellence Binding. That's pretty stock. They have Hydroid Crisis. What else allows them to actually win the game? Is it actually just copies of Hydroid Crisis? Rejuvenator beats technically, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Like they're on 3 Crisis. Nah, I mean, like I said, they could technically still win with Graces. Yeah, they have Graces in hand. No, I think I only counted 2 in their deck. I don't know, it might have been 4. Yes, they have Rejuvenators and Graces, and I have 4 trophies and 3 Noxious in my 75 right now. Or my 60, sorry.
You'll thank me later. Might be a bad
They might stick a fat Graces this next turn. In. Oh, I do have a Blast Zone. That's super true. Their Crisis can be a 6, and I'm at 21. That's not too big of a deal.
That's more like it.
We're gonna go ahead and stick this to threaten to pressure this. Glad I have 4 trophies in my deck.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Ah, yes, the classic play my card that scries and then shuffle my deck. So, what do I want to blow up with this Blast Zone? Puppet of Chaos, thank you for the 2-month resub. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Do I want to clean out their 3s, or do I want to kill the Crisis? I probably just want to kill the Crisis, right? The Crisis was actually going to kill me. Yeah, if we just run them out of Crisis, they probably can't do a whole lot. Wow, they really only made it a 4/4? That makes me want to get my Reef back.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
We did not board out the Crucible. They don't have any 5-mana Tefrees in their deck. I don't think so. I was trying to take note of win conditions. I don't think I saw any of those. I'm gonna take this hit here and see what they do with this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and blow this up in response, because when Teferi's downtick loses the target of its ability, it no longer draws a card. So that was kind of a perfect setup for us there. They played into the onboard trick. We got to deny them a card because of it. Now, if they have a second Crisis here, that would be a pretty good comeback for them.
That's how it was meant to happen.
And Yarok is fortunately under Prison Realm and not Ixalan's Binding, so we can cast this next copy of him. And we'll play this land to make 2 Zombabies. Thanks, Think Finks. We're all about the details around here. We're all about the details. In just 62 short weeks, we will be rid of Little Teferi. So like they have cards in hand, but like both our decks have a lot of air in it. A lot of my air is currently making 2/2 zombies. Yep.
Longer. Stand by and watch. Let's try this.
Afternoon Abaru. It's a pretty good pickup. I don't know if 40 grizzly bears is exactly air. That's fair. We do have a grizzly bear a day keeps the doctor away, chat. Sorry about that bump there. Oh no. Our Rejuvenator's gonna get into a fight, chat? Yep. Thank you. Your move, Yugi boy. This is all we got. So even if they crease us for a bunch next turn, we still have lethal zombies, right? Yeah, not only does this build get to play Ego, but it feels like we probably win through an Ego better than they can, right? This deck is really sweet. Please make something shiny. I don't have any. This deck is 100% shiny, unfortunately. We even spent Mastery Tree points to make it shiny. There's a lot of cards in Standard that just don't have foil options right now, which is sad. Oh, this is excellent. Yeah, I do think Bant will probably adjust to make itself better against Ego eventually, but in the meantime, we're gonna lean into that for sure. In the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna play this before I play my Scryland. And I'm actually gonna grab a Forest here because I want to start triggering my Field of Dead ASAP. So my next land drop will trigger Field of Dead. Casual turn 3/6 mana, go. I really hope we get foil temples in the next patch. I think it's a pretty big... I feel like every time they release new rare land, they should have a field. They should have a foil. They're a high demand item. Love to draw like a Yarok here. So unfortunately don't have anything to do with our mana this turn. I'm actually going to go ahead and offer this trade. Because I don't have any more elementals. They probably don't want to take it because they probably do. So next turn, we can make another 2/2 and then draw 2 cards, which is not the Stone Cold Bratwurst. I'll probably draw before playing my land for the turn, just in case we draw like a trophy or something we want to cast. We have 2 Disfigures and 3 trophies in our deck that can kill their Risen Reef. We have Yaroks and Cavaliers and other Reefs that are excellent draws for us here. Depending on what their deck is doing, I bet we're a little bit ahead against a lot of these other mid-range decks in the format. I don't take build-around requests this far out for new set stuff. Otherwise, it just builds up too many points for free. I want to leave black mana available in case I draw a witch figure. Yep, yep. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. You may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Return target creature you control. Yeah, it's a sweet EDH card. Sweet Brawl card. Our opponent's drawing a lot of cards here, but the question that's going to remain to be answered is, does their deck have cards that allow them to go over the top of us Scapeshifting them and making a bunch of zombies? If they have 6 mana Chandra in their main deck, we might have a hard time with that. You can definitely see that one. That being one that could give us a bit of a challenge here. I'm starting to fear the reefer. I'm starting to fear the reefer, chat. Brawl is commander, but only with standard legal cards. And Brawl will be being implemented in Arena come fall. Yep. I want them to deck. Yeah, here's hoping. Like they're going through a lot of cards here, right? And like these triggers are not optional. Just gonna do this so that way I can start auto passing. Oh gosh, if I'd have done it last turn, we could have put this into play and then Grazered. Hey, Lord of the Pearl Trident. Thank you for the 10 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. For keeping me around. Oh yeah, that's true. Brawl is 60 card decks technically, right? I did not end up putting a Nexus in my deck. I probably should have. But in this game, we're not the one that's worried about decking. It's the opponent, actually. So that's nice. I'm going to lead on Rejuvenator in case it finds a second Field of the Dead. Well, there go all the Yaroks to the bottom. Why would they implement Brawl before a proper draft or tournament client? I'm going to go on a limb and estimate that implementing the command zone is probably not only easier than implementing either of those other two things you suggested, but probably also more profitable. Tournament Magic has never been the thing that's kept Magic alive, which is why the push towards Magic esports has always seemed kind of weird to me. Casual Magic is what's kept Magic alive for this many years. It's probably what's going to sustain it moving into the future. I definitely don't want these Scapeshifts against their, kill all my stuff. Grazer doesn't really block profitably here. I can just bring in these Grasps. We unmoored egoed them and crushed them. Yeah. Yeah, casual Magic is a life's blood of Magic, and getting more casual style focused things into Arena like Brawl is a step in the right direction. That's actually one of the reasons why I was really disappointed they're not giving us more sets for Historic, because bigger formats that have more sets in them, have more wacky play lines and things that you can think about, which makes them more appealing to players who play Magic more casually. Your niche idea is more likely to be your own in a bigger card pool. You're less likely to run into other people doing the same thing as you. That sounds great. Yeah, not only was Modern was like that for years. Modern's still like that to a degree, right? Yeah, I agree with that too, Marty. We've spent so much time playing this current standard card pool that like by the time Historic happens, it's just stale. It's a pre-stale format. Instead of being this awesome new frontier we're excited to explore, it's just like stale from the start. Rude, Cheeto fingers. Keep your Cheeto fingers to yourself, Mr. Locust. Nobody likes your rage. Wow. Yeah, I agree, Topto. As Modern has become a more brutally efficient format with more people hammering on it and the set pool getting larger, it's become harder and harder to brew in. No, I fully intend to play Brawl in the fall. We're full casual around here. Any constructed formats sound great, especially because Brawl will give us another format that we can meaningfully play on this application, hopefully. If there's a queue that we can find Brawl things in that'll fire, we'll definitely be playing it. We about to get ambushed here? Ambush would be awkward. If we don't get ambushed, this Rejuvenator could find a couple of fields and we could take them to Pound Town here. Breeding Pool is great because it lets me double Rejuvenator this turn. Field of the Dead. Woof. Whiff City. Alright. Some of your finest boys and girls, please. You casual, dig 20, find some fields. I'm gonna attack. If they want to trade Omnath and Paradise Druid for this Yarok, I think I'm okay with that. And I think they're unlikely to want to take that trade. Yeah, and a chip shot like this could be good because we're not going to make as many zombies as like the bigger Scapeshift decks do, the more all-in Field of the Dead decks do. Now, I think they'll likely just offer, if they're smart Steel Berserker, they'll offer both. They'll let people play 100-card Commander with all the cards that exist on Arena, and then there will also be 60-card Standard Commander, or Brawl, as they call it. Again, and this is the thing that Wizards really needs to lean into if they want Arena to have lasting power. The thing that makes Magic the greatest game that's ever been made is the fact that you can play it in so many different ways in whatever manner appeals to you specifically. And the more that they lean into this, we need you to be competitive, we need you to play Standard, these other formats are going to be throwaway, forget about them, we don't care about them, like that's bad. That is a bad direction for Magic to be going in. What did I tell you about keeping your Cheeto fingers to yourself, Omnath? Yes, that is definitely words I have said more than once. Magic is a game engine. It's not a single game, it is a bunch of different games. Well, you don't say. That's gonna stay right there. We're gonna grow Spiral, make some zomboys and girls. Alright, I'm gonna take your devil's advocate argument and throw it in a flipping garbage can, Zoran. Don't make a queue for it. You don't need to make a queue for every format your client supports. It's okay to have formats in the challenge menu that aren't listed to generically play, that don't have a queue to play in. So if you're worried about queue fatigue, don't put a queue up. Man, these growth spirals were good. Zombie, 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 hey, hey. Hey, J Boogie. Well, thanks for keeping me around. Welcome back. 3 months and many to come. Excellent. I appreciate the support, I really do. Alright, so I need to send 4 dorks at Chandra to guarantee she dies. And there's no point in attacking these 2 at them because they'll just get free blocks on them. I guess they're getting free blocks on some of these anyways, right? It doesn't really matter. Just leave me some more blockers. We're gonna get to double Rejuvenator here. Yeah, Field of the Dead feels like it's here to stay for another 62 weeks. I don't think this card's going away when Scapeshift rotates. Yeah, I should probably hold these lands in case they wipe again. I don't know. I've got Arc. No, I'm just gonna play it out. We've only cast like one Scapeshift in this entire set, yeah? There's only 2 Scapeshifts in this deck, and I'm not even sure they're necessary, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna run it back. Yeah, actually, that's true. The second Scapeshift might just be a better Nexus. Might just be better as Nexus so we don't risk decking ourselves. It could just be like Nexus and Cavalier, the 4th Cavalier. Because the only reason I don't have the 4th Cavalier is because I think he risks decking us out too often if we draw too many of them. But if I have a Nexus of Fate, I can run that risk, right? I don't think the crop rotation elf is very good. Like, what problem do you think my deck has that's being solved by playing that card? I mean, we're playing a game without Scapeshifts at all right now. I think that's a mulligan too. It's not amazing, but it's definitely in the realm of keepable. Golos. There was actually a Golos Scapeshift deck that top 16'd the... There was a Golos Scapeshift deck that top 16 the Grand Prix this past weekend, and actually I've got a similar build in the deck queue that we're gonna get to. Probably not tomorrow, but no, actually probably tomorrow. We almost got to it today. Gaia's Blessing doesn't really work, and shuffling our entire graveyard back into our deck also doesn't really work. Can we run this back, but with Arcane Adaptation and Labman Jace for the combo kill? Yeah, I can make that happen. Thanks for the support, Maris. I appreciate it. Alright, time to find out how many basic mountains they have. Now, we only have 3 basics in our deck, so we can't really free roll using field every turn for too long. But we can pressure their colors a little bit here, potentially. Yeah, her emblems are gonna kill us really fast.
Hope it's not too hot for ya.
All right.
I can always do better next time.
Yeah, Trophy was a good pickup, right? They might not have a second red, so this field might keep them from playing a second Chandra here, assuming they don't have the colored source for it. I have one more basic I can get out of my deck here, which is nice. Which figure? Which one did you have again? Field of the Dead starts making things here. These damn Cheeto fingers, man. We really need to get Omnath some Cheeto tongs, chat. So he can get his hands clean. It's a shame I didn't put Field of the Dead into play last turn. I think it was right to take them off their other thing. I think I'm just playing this and then ticking it to 4 and then blowing it up next turn. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Probably dead here, I think. We just we mulliganed to 5 and then we didn't really have that many spells. And one of our spells was basically just more lands. Yeah, good games, opponent. We need a Cheeto finger emote? Maybe. Yeah, we mulliganed low and they drew reefs. Alright. We're gonna play one more here before we wrap things up for the day. And we're gonna do it with one Nexus of Fate as an anti-decking measure. Leave one Scapeshift in here too still. Well, maybe we'll do one more. We still have a killer viewer count. Y'all are great. Yeah, maybe we'll do mono green Scapeshift after this. Nexus also notably lets us shuffle. We're probably really good against Wild Growth Walker decks. If I had to venture a guess, I would bet that we're good against Wild Growth Walker decks. Hey, what's going on, Clown Punch? Happy Monday. Not quite sure what just happened. Not quite sure what just happened. They saw the elf and knew what was up. Fair. Fair. Saw the elf and just noped out. Is Secret Agent Pig coming up in the next few days? So the first deck we played today, our Hunter. It'll be up on the YouTube channel this evening. Or if you want to take a peek now, you can check out the past videos as well. I'm running late tonight. I'm going to do one more deck after this in mono green Scapeshift, so my YouTube stuff's probably not going to be published for another 5 or maybe even 6 hours, depending on how to fare. It was okay. It was cute. It was almost certainly just a bad Grill deck, but it was cohesive. We got to put the agent into play off of Pig at least once, if I recall. Hey, Warfus, thank you for the 5 months of support. I appreciate that. Hope your Monday is treating you well. Good evening. Pig got bounced by Teferi a lot. What happened to your sweet deck? Our expensive bomb got bounced by Teferi over and over and over again, and we were sad. It's a pretty apt description of this format. The buddy lands have just been super awkward. We just don't have that many basics in this archetype. I might want to think about our mana base a little bit. So you just gotta say everything confidently, Tobto, so that way even when you're wrong, and some people think people who don't know better think you're right. The delivery is everything. My opponent's playing Jade Light Ranger. I wonder if anybody told them that they can register Risen Reef. Do you think they know, chat? Do you think they know they're allowed to register Risen Reef? Our hand is beautiful. Do do do. Do 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 do. We are missing green mana. Do do. They could be playing the green-black land destruction deck, trying to metagame these Scapeshift decks. Please trophy my Risen Reef. Please trophy my Risen Reef. Yeah, but Reef always draws a card. You gotta think about this from a value perspective. If we draw a land we don't already have in play, we start making 2/2s. So I just need to remember on occasion this count exists, so you can get a sub from it. Can you sing a song for me? Sing a song. Do 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 do, baby, ooh, say ooh. Would not be surprised to see this end up on top of their deck. We're gonna trophy this one at the end of turn here. This gives me a green source. Thanks. I made sure our greedy mana base kept those. Alright, yeah, let's just lead on Cavalier of Thorns. We're still kind of far off of Arc, but I have all my colors. I'm gonna take the Arc. Yeah. Those were short and brutal. I'm gonna do one more with this. I like this one a lot. This one felt pretty sweet. This is easily the deck of the day. I think I'm gonna tag this and the Modern League from this morning as favorites. Are you pronouncing the name of the Arc incorrectly? Nah. Ain't nobody got time to say made-up fantasy words correctly. Yeah, we played Black White Zombies for Modern this morning. It was a really good set. If you're into that format, would recommend watching. Sultai's great. Why wouldn't you want more Sultai on the website? Yay! 3 mana Teferi! Who's excited? Who's excited? 3 mana Teferi! This isn't a fight you can win. Listen, Teferi. Take your bounces and blow them out your pleasantry. Blow them out your pleasantry.
I'll protect you.
I mean, to be fair, if you look at the cards contained in this deck, the cards you're spending wild cards on for this archetype are like all just like good Magic the Gathering cards. There are 2 Cavalier of Thorns in my hand, and you took the Scapeshift? Obviously, this is why we should keep Scapeshift in this deck, because people do things like that. So that Teferi's sitting on 6 counters. So even though they're missing on land drops, I think it's right to kill the Teferi just because it represents them drawing 2 cards. Just let them know that we know what's up. Blow them out your staff, Teferi. Remember bit.ly/tuck Teferi for your real-time Teferi counter. You gotta damage. The Grazer damages morale. That is definitely the case. We have been blessed, chat. There's our Nexus of Fate plan coming into work. Wow, have we still not found a Field of the Dead? Wow, no field, huh? So, this is a pretty big mistake on my opponent's part here. So, when you know you're going to kill a Cavalier of Thorns, you should kill it in response to its enter the battlefield trigger. So that way, if they get a card back, the card goes on top of their deck, and then they immediately Cavalier past it. So I wouldn't have been able to get this Risen Reef back next turn if my opponent had cast down that Cavalier in response to its trigger.
I shall miss your company.
Probably just should have Scapeshift. I disagree with you. I think sacrificing a bunch of lands when they could Kaya's Wrath me is not ideal. I think I'd much rather just continue to grind. Grind, baby. Grind, baby, grind. Do, 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 do. Beep, beep, do, 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 do,
I know
do.
my responsibility. You need to slow down.
They can't mill us out. We have, get our Field of Rune here for their Azcanta for later. We have a Nexus of Fate in our deck, chat. Just to play around the mill them out plan. Is this the Sultai list from GP Denver? It's not. It's a deck list we threw together, or I put together last night.
I really should have seen that coming.
Yeah, Yarok was a A+ pickup for sure. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why we didn't go for the Scapeshift. For those wondering, that is why we didn't Scapeshift. No, I don't have enough mana to leave Arc untapped to draw a card, because I want to Field of Rune them. Yeah, they definitely should have waited to flip their Azcanta. This deck has a lot of mythics. Yeah, how can you let your opponent know your wallet is bigger than theirs if your deck doesn't have a lot of mythics in it? Come on now. Alright, how lucky are you? You're at 10. Scry's pretty good with your Bolas to Citadel. Pass the turn. Pass the turn. Narset clears the top of their deck again, too. Oath of Kaya is a free roll. It costs 3 and gains 3. They get to Narset to clear the top of their deck again. Well, there's a Kaya's Wrath, and you're dead. Can we bring in Ceratops here? God, that's such a clean in and out. Such a clean in and out. Get to cut Scapeshift, Grazers, and Disfigures for Trophy, Grasp, and Ceradon. Just like we drew it up, chat. It's exactly what we wanted for Christmas. Three mana Teferi's really pretty bad against our deck, huh? We have a bunch of things they can't bounce and things that they can bounce, just like generate value when they come into play. I think I want to keep my guaranteed 5th land here. They are playing Hero. Weird. They have main deck Wrath and Hero. I guess I have what's it called, right? I have Noxious and I have Assassin's Trophy that both kill this. That's fine. Time Raveler lost a lot of market share when M20 released. I don't think that's true. Most of the Scapeshift decks from this past weekend were playing Bant for Teferi. They're like blue-green Teferi decks. So Esper seems to have gotten worse, but I think saying Teferi decks got worse, I think is a mischaracterization of what's actually occurred.
I can no longer stand by and watch. Let's take it back.
So I do this, I give it haste, I can give it trample, and we get to kill this. Seems good. The confirming all the keywords this can get. We're a little bit low on life here, so this hero might be able to pressure us out of the game, we'll see.
Before action.
I am not going to sit this one out.
Alright, well, with the field draw here, I think I actually just go Yarok, make 2 zombies, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different. This is the 7th land. And I'm like, all of my lands making zombies for the rest of the game keep this hero in check pretty well. Which seems great for us. Like, the rest of my hand is like gas spells still. If they Kaya's Wrath, it's like, alright, sure. I have a bunch of other cards in my hand that draw cards effectively. Blocking here doesn't even really matter because I have an extra mana. I'm spending 5 on Yarok and that's it. And I had something IRL come up. What's the win rate, Ben? I have no idea. You should never put any weight into the specific win rate with decks that I play on this stream, or likely most streams. The number of games and matches you need to play for that number to be statistically significant is far more than you're ever going to see in one session or even multiple sessions a lot of the time. Especially when you're working on a new deck idea like this and tuning the details in between matches. Small changes can lead to big differentials. I mean, my cards just generate so much value, right? It's also, like, pretty important that I, like, play enough stuff to the board that my opponent feels it necessary to Wrath, so that way I can then spew everything out. If I play Risen Reef and miss on an untapped land, I can still play Ceratops next turn, which is nice. If I play Risen Reef and hit on the land, I can play a second Yarok as a follow-up. Unfortunately, my opponent fully timed out there, though, so they might have had to leave their computer, which would be sad. We're having an interesting game of Magic the Gathering. You know, it really is kind of a mindset thing. Treating this format like Modern and going into it with the mindset that it's Modern and not just like, you know, a normal, good Standard format has really helped me feel a lot more positive about playing it. So when you kind of accept that there's a bunch of different decks and you're going to have some that are matches that feel kind of hopeless, and you just want to roll off and concede them. Not even just brutal efficiency so much as that there's a lot of matchup variance and there's a lot of decks that are doing very, very powerful things that you're just never going to have a good axis of interaction with. I mean, I guess we'll cast our spell, but Yarok plus field is a heck of a drug. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I mean, and most of this deck is like surviving rotation, right? Rejuvenator's leaving, the mana base will change a little bit. Yeah, the zombies were a free attack. It was because I didn't. Because I think they're AFK and it doesn't really matter. I believe once this timer hits 0, they're gonna time out anyways. Yeah, I'm not even sure this deck wants Scapeshift, and yeah, we have 1 copy of Scapeshift in our deck. I'm not even sure I want that copy. Alright, I am going to roll along to Mono Green Scapeshift after this one. Unfortunately, we only played like a game and a half there, but we had 2 kind of medium ones in a row. I feel like my wrap-up is, I liked what this was doing a lot. It feels like it has good tools for a lot of different matchups. You didn't even really need Scapeshift. It might not even be very necessary, honestly. This Nexus of Fate in here is mostly a theorycraft idea because with Cavalier and Yarok, we run the risk of decking ourselves, and this prevents that. But even this getting lost at rotation isn't that big of a deal. You could just, like, be more conservative with how close you get to decking yourself. Scrubs, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I've had people, while I don't really think about rotation that much, I know wild cards are valuable and people kind of are weary about spending them on things that are going to be rotating, and I think this is seems like a very reasonable deck if you're looking for something kind of new and interesting that's not going to lose a lot come rotation in the fall. All right, we are going to wrap things up playing one more